Hello and welcome to episode 19 of the LFC Stuff podcast with me, David, and I am joined today by Josh, who's back from pillaging villages in Croatia. We're without
Yay.
Shane today. He's got some personal stuff to take care of, so it's just me and Josh to irritate your ears for the time being. So, since we were last broadcasted, I think we haven't even done one since the Chelsea game, to be honest.
No,
The less said about that, the better.
but we are the
Liverpool,
super champions of Europe,
well,
so
yeah, Liverpool came away with another trophy, another penalty win in Istanbul. And it's not a proper game because I didn't go and I go the game. So, anyway, moving on.
glorified friendly.
So, the last league game was Southampton away. It's always a tough
Mm.
one. 3 o'clock kickoff was a bit bizarre, personally. It's always a match that provokes some fireworks, especially with Hassan Hurtle going up against Klopp. I thought it would have been a night game, to be honest. I associate away games at St Mary's with night games.
Well, the thing is, it's really strange because we obviously that makes sense, but our next two games are Saturday nights. Arsenal's great, but then the week after's Burnley away, and I don't get why we're playing Burnley away on a Saturday night. That should just be why is that not 12 o'clock on a Sunday?
Well, it's a bit
That is
ridiculous to play
literally.
Burnley away at 5:30 and have to trek all the way down to Southampton for a 3 o'clock kickoff with more
Yeah.
kind of, obviously, Sky love to go for the old narrative outlook on
Mm.
things. And I mean, I didn't realise. I knew that we had a lot of ex-Southampton players, but even Oxlade-Chamberlain is ex-Southampton, so it's getting a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
But in terms of the game, do you think we were as bad defensively as everybody, fans and media alike, have said Liverpool were?
I thought we were better than Norwich and Chelsea, so I'd like to think there is a bit of progress being made. Norwich, you can kind of just think, first game of the season, everyone's not so fresh, or getting you not so in any rhythm. Chelsea, I don't think we played more than 70% in that game anyway, with it being thinking about Southampton in mind. I thought Southampton was better, but it still wasn't great. I mean, obviously, the big chance was it Yoshida from the corner? Was it a corner that Adrian saved? It's a set piece. You can kind of take that in isolation.
That was a
rather
great
than
save
focusing
as
on
well,
it.
by the way, by
And it
Adrian.
was a brilliant save. And then I don't think the Adams chance is as good as everyone made it out.
Yeah,
Because
that match of
the
the day
ball
saying
was
he should
well
have buried it. I
I
mean,
think he got as good ahead. He got as close as he probably could have done with the cross.
yeah, he was what, about 10 yards out, if that,
And the
probably
ball
more.
was probably a good half a yard above him as well. So it doesn't strike me as someone who's got a massive leap. The actual defending up to that was pretty poor in terms of Van Dijk and Matip kind of just let him get in between them, but it happens. So apart from the chance at the end where Ings missed, they didn't really create too much that we didn't give to them. And yeah, I don't think you can blame the defence. I think the midfield's just been crap for a few games, so just need to sort that out really, and then we'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I, like you, watched the match in hindsight, so I had the media reaction, I had the fans' reaction, kind of sting in my
Expected
ears.
a horror show.
Yeah, and what I was greeted with was Liverpool doing what Liverpool do. I mean, at the end of the day, we've got arguably the best front three in world football, and they can win your games by themselves. And Mane completely changing the game by himself,
Yeah.
and then Liverpool kind of again doing what they do and grinding out a result, and they got to 2-0
Well,
obviously.
We could take a game away from teams in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
And we obviously didn't do it in the first half, but we had a 20-minute spell in the second half where it was 2-0. Probably we could have had a couple more. Salah missed a chance. Firmino missed that really good chance where I thought Firmino's miss was actually a really good effort. He's done exactly what he should have done, which is try and get it as far into the corner as possible. He's just got it a little wide. But there was a 25, 30-minute spell where we'd obviously been told just kill the game, try and get a goal or two, and we did that. And obviously we've made life difficult for ourselves with a pretty shocking error from Adrian, but he's got that out of his system now, hopefully, like Alisson did at Leicester last season. So what was nice is I was playing cricket, which just sounds really English. But I was following it because we were batting. That's why we were batting at the time, and I wasn't doing it. So I was following it, and as soon as they made it 2-1, I was kind of, at peace with us. No, that's the wrong. I'm trying to say the wrong thing. I was confident that we would see it out. Whereas 2 or 3 years ago, I'd have been thinking, right, when are they going to score their third goal? And it's like, wow.
I was kind of blaming myself at that point because I don't like watching matches on streams, so I'll wait until I'll listen to a commentary or something, and then I'll watch it back. But at the time I was being subjected to Super Sunday, not Super Sunday, sorry, Soccer Saturday, yeah.
Yes, institution.
And I texted Amy and I said, "Oh yeah, the Reds have won," and then he scored, and then I just thought, "Oh no, oh no," and then Ings missed his chance, and it was definitely a sigh of relief. But I mean, Southampton, I don't know. It seems as though
me.
It seems as though every team gets up for it against Liverpool. I mean, definitely not as much as other teams. Like I can name them off the top of my head. You've got Southampton rarely get up for it against Liverpool. You've got Crystal Palace after Istanbul definitely get up for Liverpool at home. Whereas Burnley as well. Yeah,
Burnley love. And to be fair, Burnley try and do it against City as well. You can't throw that one where they try and make people say, "Oh, no one tries against City." Burnley at least have a go, especially at Turf Moor. But that you've named 3 teams that I despise playing against every season.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought Southampton would be a little bit. I thought they had a bit more quality, to be honest.
I thought they had a far better squad than they've seemingly came into the season with. I mean, Mario Lemina looked like he's set to go to Monaco as well. So
yeah, I saw that.
I mean,
but
as much as the rate hasn't hurt.
Yeah, they run really well, and they press really well, but then get them into the final third, and it's just a little bit drab.
Yeah, he seemed to get something out of Nathan Redmond last season, but I mean,
I thought Redmond was all right. He was probably one of their better players.
No, yeah, Redmond was good. Ings is good. I think they'll stay up. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they'll be of any danger of going down because I think the likes of Newcastle, Palace.
I think Newcastle are down.
Oh, Newcastle! Already. Have you seen their upcoming games? I don't think they're going to get a point for about 6 games. It's
I did a predictor today, and I went through all the games because I'm boring. No, it's mainly because I was just going to talk about a few things. Maybe if something shocking that I thought came up, I didn't have Newcastle getting there. I had their first win in about October. I didn't have their second win until about February.
Yeah,
they are because you just think the quality of their squad is shambolic. I'm not sure about Jellinson, to be honest.
No.
From what I've seen so far.
Yeah, I don't know where the Firmino comparisons come from, like, at all.
I know. I just know they're going to get a point at St James's Park against us. So, but luckily that's the last game of the season, so it might all be done by then anyway. But yeah, Southampton will be fine. I think Sheffield United are going down. For as much as I like them, they're just too Championship.
Yeah.
Their record sign is Ollie McBurney, for fuck's sake. I mean,
for 20 million.
How can you expect
20 million?
Teams I mean, they also bought Ben Osborne from Nottingham Forest, and as I'm local to Nottingham, I go and watch them quite a lot. He's crap, so he's not doing anything. I think it's going to be Newcastle, Sheffield United, and either Aston Villa or Crystal Palace.
I think probably Villa, to be honest.
I think Hodgson's done. Hodgson will be sacked sometime this season.
Yeah, I mean, I tweeted before, I hope Norwich go down so we can kind of nab Emiliano Buendia. because
I
he's
think Norwich will be 10 points clear. I think at
yeah.
the
I
end of the
think
season.
Norwich will be comfortable myself, but I
Well,
think
I mean, you look at how well they played at Anfield. They at least, I say well in relative to a promoted team, they played really good stuff at times and probably deserved another goal.
mm,
They comfortably beat Newcastle, so I think they'll be around the Watfords and Brightons.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
Brighton are going to have a good season. But I think they'll be above. They'll be with the Watfords, Bournemouth sort of region rather than that bottom four.
yeah. I mean, there's. I'm just thinking every time I think of a team going down, I think of who we can nab off them.
Yeah,
Um,
and
I
Sheffield
can't think
United,
of
Newcastle, and Aston Villa don't have
yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
Maybe
I
John
can't think
McGinn
of anyone.
as a wild card,
Oh,
a
he
wild card
completed
midfielder.
6 passes in that game against
Yeah, I
Tottenham.
know. That
That's
was
six
purely tongue
passes.
in cheek.
Oh, no,
But
I
no,
mean, I was looking at him and thinking the way he runs around like a bit of a madman, a bit of a Scottish madman. He does remind me of a bit of a central midfield Robertson.
he's a Solskjaer signing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we can get on to United a bit later because
Yeah,
we can. It's a bit of a good time to be a Liverpool fan because of the just utter state of Manchester United are in.
well,
It's
I like it when Chelsea are in a state as well.
oh
So
yeah,
1 point from 6 games, Lampard is really, really tickling my fancy at the moment.
yeah. Give me the Mels, baby. But moving on anyway, we'll move on to foreshadowing Liverpool's next game, which is a game that has always provoked goals. Really, it's Arsenal at home.
Jurgen Klopp's favourite game of the season.
Yes, definitely. Ever since that, what was it? Was it 16-17 where we started the season away at them? And
Yes,
Mane
Sadio
scored that
Mane.
left-footed
Yeah.
ridiculous goal. Little did we know that'll be one of many, many goals he'll be scoring with his left foot. And well, rather than Jurgen Klopp's back, it was kind of the stuff of dreams at the time. We've moved onwards and upwards, and so have Arsenal. We're level at the top of the league after 2 games, but we are the only two teams with maximum points from the first 2 games, which is a bit unusual, I think.
That's in England. That's in the top 4 leagues now as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because I think it was Lincoln and Blackpool as well, and they both dropped points yesterday.
Of course, you know that.
So yeah, it was on the telly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Lincoln and Blackpool were the only two in the Football League. So that must mean in the Premier League that's now Liverpool and Arsenal. So yeah, 92 teams, I believe Liverpool and Arsenal after 2 games are the only. You'd expect 4 or 5 teams to still have won every game.
I'd expect 4 teams in the Premier League, never mind.
Yeah, I expect Man
92.
City. I'd probably expect Spurs. I know they played each other, so obviously that kind of it's impossible. But I remember, was it us, City, and Chelsea last season? All won their first 6 games.
Yeah, Chelsea had a
And
ridiculous start under Sarri, didn't he?
it was the new manager bounce, which Frank Lampard hasn't had.
Oh well, yeah. I think he's had the New Balance. New Balance?
I think
new manager sink.
His new manager bounce was the opening 20 minutes at Old Trafford, and that's how long it lasted.
I think if that's the case though, that'll have a new manager bounce every single game and just run out of steam because it's just kind of.
Well, they've done it. They've done that in both games now. Chelsea, first 25 minutes, they've looked like blowing teams away, and then they just realised, hang on, we're not fit enough to do this for 90 minutes, and then kind of cowered into a horrible performance.
But yeah, I mean, back to Arsenal though. Similarly to Chelsea with this kind of shaky defense, but really good attack. Probably not as applicable to Chelsea, but I think it's more applicable to Arsenal purely because of the individuals they got in the attack. But they do remind me a lot of probably 16-17 Liverpool. They are ridiculously good in attack, but defensively they are borderline shambolic. And the bright side is that I don't think Emery is going to get the best out of them. I think they're a lot better with the ball, especially with Ceballos. He's tucked to the league like a duck to water as well.
I tell you what, I'm glad you pronounced his name first because I'd have got. I did not know where to start with pronouncing
Shane
that.
isn't here to take the piss out of me, so
yeah.
I'm
I think you're right. So,
But
I was going to say Ceballos.
Ceballos,
The Spanish, they
yeah,
like to.
yeah. Sound like Alvaro Romeo off the Sunday football show. But with Ceballos, with Torreira, with less so Xhaka, but with Guendouzi as well, they've got players that are really safe in possession and players that put in a shift off the ball as well. So I think they're a lot better in central parts and shielding the defence. But when you get to the individuals of the defence, it's just a bit of a mess. I mean, again, Mustafi, but he probably won't start at Anfield. It'll be David Luiz, who's just kind of like
Luis and Socrates.
a Prada version of Shkodran Mustafi. It's just ugh. In individual mistakes will let Arsenal down. That's inevitable. There's no Virgil van Dijk, and Unai Emery is no Jurgen Klopp. So that is the conundrum that Arsenal have got to solve.
Well, the problem I think Arsenal have got, I think they've got the wrong manager for the attack they've got. I think every time I see an Emery team play in a big game, he has to rely obviously on his attacking players, but he kind of just makes them boring in big games, and they're kind of restricted. And I think this goes for a lot of games. To be honest, I caught a lot of their game against Burnley, and they were really poor for most of the game. I mean, Burnley had 18 shots.
Yeah.
Obviously, shots aren't a big.
But the argument it's Burnley though.
It goes to show that
Burnley don't shoot a lot.
Burnley found a way of getting at them. And they only scored 2 against Burnley, and they didn't create much themselves. To be honest, Arsenal not as much you'd expect with Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe played, I think, in a bit. So, I'm expecting a very Well, they'll attempt to be very regimented on Saturday. You already know what I think is going to happen, and I'll explain a bit later.
Yeah,
but
we'll get to that later on.
I think Arsenal will surprise people, but throughout the course of the season, they will. I think they'll finish 4th, but they'll be nowhere near Tottenham, Liverpool, and City.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think there's going to be a pretty big gap between the top 2 and the rest again. To be honest,
I think Tottenham are going to be in their own little
section,
maybe where they're like 10 points behind us and 10 points ahead of 4th, and it's just like they're not really going anywhere. But that's not for a lack of trying this time around. I mean, actually try to sign people.
Yeah, I mean, you just mentioned before about Arsenal struggling against Burnley. That'll lead us nicely on to Socrates Papastatopoulos' quotes after the match.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. Where don't get me wrong, the quote isn't as bad as the media have portrayed it to be. In fact, it's pretty much being completely twisted in the headlines. But
I think what he's saying is a little bit. There's a bit of truth.
A bit of truth, but he's also very wrong on one of the points he says.
Yeah.
The exact quote is in regards to Burnley in comparison to Liverpool. Socrates said, "It is a different game. Maybe it is more easy because you don't have to fight a lot, but they also play football." So the part that he is hilariously wrong on is the lack of fight. Has he seen our midfield? Our midfield is like built to fight. It's
I think our attack's built to fight as well. I wouldn't want to face Salah, Mane, and Firmino pressing you, especially if you've got Mustafi, Luiz, and whatever in your team.
I mean, it's quite literally built to facilitate the rest of the team. It's there to break up attacks and run a lot. Like that is the job of our midfield.
I think the midfield had a better game against Southampton as well than the other couple of games. I thought Chamberlain was really good, so maybe we've started to work that out a little bit. And they can play as well. They just sometimes look like they've never kicked a ball before. But
I don't think he'll play Chamberlain though. I think he'll go for the trusted 3.
He'll go for his 3. But it's a good game for Wijnaldum. It's the perfect sort of game for Wijnaldum. So it's probably one of those ones where he decides to turn up, and there's a bit of space to play in, and he's not having to break teams down.
Well, I just hope he completely and utterly
break teams down.
boots that fascist Ceballos up in the air. That'll be good. I mean, if you haven't read up on Danny Ceballos' opinions on, I believe it's the Basque nationalism cause and the Catalan nationalism cause.
He's
have a look. Yeah, he's quite strong in his opinions. I'm not gonna spout hard right rhetoric here. So, if you wanna research it. But he's a bit of a twat. Talking about twats, we can move on to. I can't think of any other Arsenal player that's a twat. Have you got any, Josh? Xhaka, maybe? Luis?
Yeah, well, they're just twats because they make football look comic whenever they play. So I'd hate them on my team.
I really thought I could kind of lead on into a transition of other twats in the Arsenal team, but to be honest,
they're just so soft.
Yeah.
Arsenal is so soft.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say it now. I think we're going to draw.
Well, mind you, Kolasinac is
hard as nails.
After that video, you can't say he's soft, but I mean,
he won't play though. So
yeah, given the example that's been set by Arsenal's highest paid player, it's not.
I'm very happy that Kieran Tierney's not available because I
forgot they signed him. I forgot all about that.
He's out for another 4 weeks, I think.
Is he?
Groin problem,
he's had a lot of injuries.
He's obviously better than Robertson, so that's why I was wondering why I was not wanting to.
He seems to be having the injury look that I've kind of predicted for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and I'm just kind of sitting here waiting for it to happen. And I'm waiting patiently. Not that I want the guy's knee to blow up. I just think the guy's knee's going to blow up because he's just a bit weird. The way he runs and he's constantly on the floor and
sorry, Alex Ferguson.
Listen.
Predicted injuries.
Reduce stability, mind. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
All right,
I can predict it on a gate.
Okay.
He might win the odd European Cup, but still.
So it's episode 19. We need to remember in 6 years when he's the best fullback in the world.
Yeah.
When did Dave say he's going to blow up? Oh, right. There. Episode 19.
Yeah, when Trent's off the back of his third ACL injury.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. But I mean, I just a quick detour. I was a big fan of how shameless Liverpool's Twitter was off the back of that Aaron Wan-Bissaka shot against Wolves. It was so shameless. I mean, Trent has tried that exact shot about 20 times and it's never come off. But
I mean, I was sat in the pub watching that game and just looking at Man United, you kind of have to cringe because, when they're in their pomp and they were better than us, at least you could kind of respect what a good team and a big club is. And then you look at that performance. I don't think Wolves played well at all. And Wolves were there for the taking. I said it at the time. I'd say there's 12 teams in the Premier League that would have beaten Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, off the back of that performance, I was pretty certain in my prediction for Arsenal for fourth, because if Arsenal are in those positions that United were getting in isolating defenders like United were, it was just going to get...
We'd have scored 5 against Wolves.
Yeah, easily, because...
And City would have scored 8.
Yeah.
And I look at Man United and I struggle to remember a chance that they created that wasn't Martial's goal.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything.
Rashford's free kick, wow. Wan-Bissaka's shot, wow. Pogba's penalty, wow. There's a baffling. Also, Daniel James is he's not a Premier League player. I'm sorry, I'm saying it now.
He's a sprinter.
Not. I'm sorry, he dived twice.
Yeah,
he's just not ready.
I've noticed a lot of diving though, since VAR's come into play, which is a bit ridiculous, given you'd think that VAR would be able to eradicate diving and kind of flag up diving, but doesn't seem to have been the case, but it's
No.
just a bit ridiculous. I mean, do you think the Wolves penalty was a penalty? Because I don't really see what Cody can do.
I see. I thought my tweet summed it up quite well. It's not a penalty, but because there was a little bit of contact, VAR, it's a penalty because obviously it's not clear and obvious error that.
Yeah.
Cody did trip him, but in an ideal world or in a correct time of it, remember you've got to take into account the John Moss factor, so it's probably going to be wrong whatever he said anyway. You probably just say it's coming together because he's ran into his leg.
Definitely, it's that penalty, that same penalty that Harry Kane has won countless times.
But because the referee has given it, there's nothing clear and obvious to suggest that it's not, because there is contact between Cody and Pogba. So in terms of no VAR, it's not a penalty. With VAR, it's a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that people fail to understand about VAR, I think. I mean, with the City one, the one that Gary Neville, talking about cringe, and by the way, about over Manchester United, Gary Neville, Jesus Christ. But talking about VAR, and people need to understand that if it's not a clear and obvious error, then they're not going to overturn it. And this applies directly to the Rodri foul. Man City against Tottenham. And I understand that the referee didn't see it, but
I think
it's just one of those.
There's a thing they've got to remember. People have got to remember VAR isn't there to re-referee the game.
Well, people wanted to until they don't want it to, and then it can kind of never win.
It's the same old when it happens against your team or not. City fans would have loved that decision if it had been,
yeah, of course,
United, Liverpool, whatever. It could have happened to themselves. And I don't like the rule. I can see why it's a rule. It takes away from the whole "is it deliberate" sort of thing. And you're scoring a goal off the back of a handball, which obviously you're not allowed to use your hands in football.
I mean, it completely redirects the flight of the ball as well. I thought it was a definite handball, by the way. Like, regardless of the rules, like he's completely redirected the flight of the ball. It did an unnatural position, and he's put it on the plate for the City player. You've took advantage.
And for the rule, it's a handball as well. So people have got to understand VAR isn't the issue. That case, that's the rules, and the VAR is just there to implement the rules. And if you think the rules are crap, fine. But the FA and UEFA, they were the ones that had the vote to approve the rule changes, and they were approved. So, I don't think the FA would have done it based off just their own back. They'd have gone to the clubs and asked and got their recommendation. So, look, as far as I'm concerned, you voted for it. So, watch it be implemented.
Yeah, I mean, listen. At the end of the day, it's not going to go. So, the melodrama needs to just stop and quickly, because
it's not even going to be a conversation come January. It's just
I hope not.
It's new to people, and
I hope not. But
they'll be expected.
It's just media companies need something to speak about, and they need something to kind of bang on about.
Gary Neville needs something to speak about.
Oh, Jesus
which
Christ.
is half the problem.
I mean, I heard somebody on a podcast saying about Mourinho and his punditry, saying that, if you're good enough, you wouldn't be a pundit, basically, and that's fine. But I don't think that. I think that applies so much to Gary Neville, so much, because not only is he a pundit, but he's a pundit that then went into management, failed miserably, and then went back to punditry. And ever since he's came back, he's just kind of lost any sense of.
He almost feels like he can't criticize managers, so he has to criticize players.
He can't criticize Manchester United. It seems there's always a but.
No,
I mean,
but he can't criticize. He can't criticize Solskjaer. The reason he can't criticize Solskjaer is because he went into a club as an ex-player, not for that team, but he was an ex-player. He went in as a manager, and as you said, spectacularly failed. So he can't really go on telly and then say what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be doing. So that's why you hear him going on about Pogba or Rashford, Pogba and Rashford this time, and then it's It's Martial one week, it's Ashley Young the next. It's always the players that are the issue with Gary Neville, because he cannot, in his own way, he cannot criticise a manager, because it's just like throwing stones in glass houses.
Yeah, but this is where the contradiction comes in, because he slaughters the players, he refuses to slaughter the management. Meanwhile, whilst slaughtering particular players like Pogba, he's naming Pogba as his potential player of the year, and coming out with this utter garbage that Manchester United, when Pep Guardiola leaves, could and should be in a better position than Liverpool to be the next in line to, dominate the league somewhat. And
I don't know what evidence he's seen that would suggest that, because
me neither.
I think United are getting worse.
He referenced the current squad as well, and he actually named Daniel James as part of the kind of young core he was referring to.
Yeah, Daniel James could be really good in 3 or 4 years, but he's not ready now. And you arguably need players who are going to take you to the level where you can then use Daniel James and not do it through Daniel James, if you know what I mean. You need someone who will, like we've got Salah, we got Salah in, not the peak of his career, but he was entering his peak years. They've got in someone who, they're doing what Liverpool did in 2012, and they're trying to sign these players that, yes, in 4 or 5 years they will be great, or they could be really good, but like we did with Sterling, we were using him, but we never reached the level that we would be at to satisfy Raheem Sterling's playing ability, which is why he went to Man City. We needed to replace Raheem Sterling with someone who was Salah's sort of age when we bought him, or Mane's age when we bought him. I don't want to use the proven line, but they've done it before, and they can be relied on. And then you can integrate the younger players as you go on. That's what Liverpool have done seamlessly since Klopp took over. We bought players with the right profile, with the right experience, who can then help the younger players fit into the squad. And then you've got, obviously, you've got freak occurrences. Trent Alexander-Arnold was kind of thrown in when we had an injury crisis, and he kind of blossomed from there. But other than that, we've had to sign people who are normally in that 23 to 26 age bracket, and then hope, or kind of develop with them. They can develop the squad so the younger players can kind of fit in a little bit more. And that's what United need to do, not just go out and buy the young players and expect them to be the ones that change your fortunes.
Yeah, I think, United are in a pretty bad position. I actually think they're probably the worst situated to be able to challenge in the future of the big six. Maybe Tottenham are below them just purely because Pochettino isn't going to be there forever, and they simply don't have the funds to be able to compete.
I think it's Pochettino's last season.
Maybe he might end up at United.
Yeah, he got very rattled in pre-season.
He really should go to United, to be honest. Maybe he could be the one to turn the tide. But then again, he hasn't been trusted with any money at Spurs, so it would be interesting to see him go to United, and obviously he would demand that they do kind of cater to him and his ways. So maybe if he goes there, it could get a bit interesting in that regard. But moving on, we've got a Champions League draw next week.
Oh, is it next week?
It is next week. It's the day after my birthday. It's on Thursday. Yeah, my birthday. My birthday on Wednesday. My birthday.
My birthday on next Friday.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, yours is the 28th.
I've had so many mutuals on Twitter that I've realised they're born in August. August people are the best.
Yeah,
I think Shane was born in August as well, ironically. I think it was his birthday the other day, wasn't it?
Nice one. I don't know. I didn't wish him happy birthday if it was. So sorry, Shane, if it was.
Yeah. But yeah, next Thursday is the Champions League draw.
Oh, I'd love Real Madrid.
Really?
I would love. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Please no.
Batter them home and away.
Oh, I couldn't be arsed. I really.
Yeah, we're in pot one, aren't we?
Yeah.
We are.
Anybody but Atleti,
Champions
really.
League. Is it because we won the Champions League?
It is.
We did win the Champions League. Yeah.
Yeah. You're just reiterating the fact that we won the Champions League.
Yeah, and we are obviously the super champions of Europe.
Yeah, super champions of Europe. And
I don't even know if that's a thing, but Adrian said it, so I'm saying it.
Yeah, who's bothered? I mean, Champions of the
Super
day.
Champions of Europe.
Super
City will
Champions of
never,
Europe. And
never
probably
sing that. Unless they win the Europa League somewhere down the line.
and probably future world champions.
Oh, could you imagine how unbearable we'll be when we are champions of the world?
Yeah.
Oh, then again, I bet Sao Paulo qualify, won't they?
Oh, Rogério Ceni will come back out of fucking.
Could you imagine that? We get to the final, there's Sao fucking Paulo again. Oh, can you be all?
No, absolutely not. So, I've got a bit of a breakdown of the pot. Now, a major asterisk before I do read them out. This is assuming that certain teams get through the qualifying stages. So,
Oh, the bad news is we can't play Porto this year.
we can't.
No, they got knocked out. I'm saying we can't.
Who did they get knocked out
play
by?
them. Krasnodar, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a shame.
well,
That
fuck.
was a guaranteed. That was
So-
guaranteed progression.
so let's move on from that fucking graphic I had up.
You really did. That happened 2 weeks ago, Dave.
I really need to catch up. I mean, this graphic that I'm looking at now has actually got Celtic. So that's a bit pointless. Let's have a look. No, that's not a good one either. That's got us in pot 3. Oh, for the love of bejesus. Right. All right. Well,
Besiktas, do you mean they'll be in it, won't they? Surely. Or are they not?
I'm just gonna the ones with an asterisk. I'm just gonna replace with other ones. So we've got in pot 1. We've got Liverpool, Chelsea in pot 1.
They won the Europa League, so yeah.
Fuck off, really? That's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bullshit. Right, so we've got Liverpool,
They should
Chelsea.
be automatically pot 4 just because they had to win the Europa League to get in the Champions
That's
League.
really, really bad. Like, that's really bad. Right, so anyway, you've got Liverpool, Chelsea, Barcelona, City, Juve, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, and Zenit St. Petersburg. In pot 2, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. Well, it was Porto, but they're knocked out. Spurs,
That means
Dortmund,
someone from
Napoli, Shakhtar, Ajax.
Ajax are in qualifying, aren't they?
Yeah, they played against Apple and Nicosia. I watched the first half of that last night. They weren't very good.
What was the score? Was it 0-0?
It was 0-0 at half time. I don't know what the full time score was.
Yeah, I didn't
Pot 3, we got Benfica, Dynamo Kiev. I'm not too sure whether they've been knocked out.
I don't want to play them anyway.
Olympique Lyonnais,
Kiev.
Bayer Leverkusen, RB Salzburg, Valencia, Inter Milan, and Celtic, who hilariously got knocked out.
So Cluj will be in pot 4. if they
Cluj.
qualify.
Moving on, we've got Copenhagen, who are still in qualifying, I believe. Dynamo Zagreb, who are definitely still in qualifying. Lokomotiv Moscow, Genk, Galatasaray, Leipzig, Atalanta, and Lille. So
a big fan of Salzburg being a pot higher than Leipzig. Big fan of that.
So personally, I think out of pot 1, you'd obviously have Liverpool. Out of pot 2, I think I would ideally go for Dortmund.
I just want to go places where there's no travelling involved.
Yeah, I don't want the other options are Napoli. I don't want to go back there. Shakhtar, don't want to travel. We can't get Tottenham, and I don't want the Madrid teams. So
yeah, I mean, Atleti will kick you to death.
yeah, there'll be another team in pot 2 because
probably
Porto haven't gotten through.
Yeah,
So I don't know who that'll be.
it'll probably be like
It'll probably be Benfica, I think.
Benfica or there's another big team in there.
Yeah.
Inter Milan.
So who's your pick for pot 2?
Yeah, I'll go with I'd like Real Madrid in terms of as a footballing perspective, but
I'd probably prefer Real Madrid than Napoli or Atleti, to be honest.
Yeah, but for getting through.
Oh well, actually Ajax. No, hang on. Sorry, I'll change man. Ajax. What am I on about?
Ajax will be in pot 2 then.
Yeah, Ajax.
Still,
I'll take Ajax over Dortmund.
Yeah, one of them two. I mean, because I don't rate
Easy away day, and I think we're better than
Favre.
so.
Don't rate Favre
I don't rate Ajax
to
at the
be
moment.
honest.
They're going through a bit of a adaptation phase without De Jong and De Ligt, it seems. So
And their manager's bald, so
he is horrendously bald, like
yeah.
so bald.
So yeah, one of them two.
Yeah, so one of those
Ajax
Central
over
European teams.
Dortmund over anyone else.
Yeah, right. Okay, so we're settled on that. Pot three.
Unanimous.
Just to go back over that.
Pot 3's a horrible pot.
Benfica.
There are some big banana skins in there.
Yeah, Benfica, Kiev, Lyon, Bayer Leverkusen, Salzburg, Valencia, Inter, and I don't know, maybe Copenhagen, because Cluj will probably go into the fourth pot if they get through. Because Celtic are out. Personally, I want Inter because I want to go.
Really?
I want to go to San Siro before it gets knocked down. So
I mean, that's a valid point, but Antonio Conte though.
I know, but I know.
Lukaku and Sanchez.
I know.
Salzburg every day for me because I just love the way they play.
Yeah, but I'm selfish,
So,
Josh. So.
I know you're selfish and you go to the game. That's two big things.
I can't be. I don't want Salzburg because I don't want to get.
Man.
I don't want to risk getting beaten by an American. Like, I don't want to be beaten by an American. Like, a European.
Actually, yeah, who is their manager?
It's Jesse. He used to manage New York.
I forgot their manager went to Gladbach, didn't he?
He did. Marco Rosa went to Gladbach.
Definitely get Salzburg.
Yeah,
then.
Jesse Marsh, his name is.
Jesse Marsh. He sounds like he loves soccer.
Yeah, Jesse Marsh
definitely wants to be the USMNT coach in 2 years' time.
Yeah, I mean, Salzburg have lost a few of the best players. I mean, they lost Amadou Hayazara in January. They lost.
Yeah, but they've got
Samaseku.
Haven't they got that kid, that 19-year-old? Is it Highland?
That's so vague, Josh. You do realise the club that you're talking about?
Yeah, but he's like a wonder kid.
They have Koita.
He scores like.
Oh, Hagland.
That's it.
Yeah.
Scored a hat-trick at the weekend.
Yeah, he's a bit ridiculous. He looks very Klopp. He's about 6'4".
That's it then. I think Salzburg scouting mission.
Yeah, scouting mission. Yeah.
Give him a hug and then.
They haven't got my boy Amadou Hayazara anymore, which makes me sad.
Where's he gone?
He's gone to RB Leipzig. Ironically, as he was dubbed the next Naby Keita. I think he's less offensive than Keita, but he's just as good at a lot of the things that Keita was good at his age.
You've always liked him.
I have.
Always liked.
But just like Keita, he's actually had quite a few injury issues. So he seems to be.
Is he finished as well?
Probably. He's getting wrote off.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. So you're going Salzburg from that one. I'm going into
yes.
Because again,
Salzburg mainly because of this whole. I know it might not seem a massive thing, but I think it's important in the Champions League. They've not done it before. And then again, nor did Ludogorets, and they drew with us. So.
I mean, from a objective perspective, I probably want to avoid Inter, and I probably want to avoid Kiev. Anyone else, I'm fine with.
I think because we're going to be playing a lot of games this season, we need a group that we can get through in 4 games, and then we can use the last 2 to rotate.
You just want all Central European clubs, really.
Yeah.
That's just the priority. I mean, French, German, you name it.
Just don't have to travel. Top of the group in 4 games. We can play bloody Brewster against Salzburg in the last game. Salah can have the day off. It's got to be ideal. We've got to look. We've got to find minutes somewhere where players can have a rest. It's going to be a massive issue. Even though Klopp has said he's going to rotate more this season than last season. So.
Well, anyway, in part 4, we have Copenhagen.
I refuse to believe that Lyon are in pot 4.
Don't know. They're in pot 3.
Or is it 3? That's all right.
Yeah. Pot 4, we've got Copenhagen, Dynamo Zagreb.
Them. Copenhagen.
Yeah, Copenhagen are mine.
That's my choice.
Just because I want to go to Copenhagen as well.
Be a nice little day out.
Lokomotiv Moscow, Genk.
No.
I'll take Genk.
Genk could be all right.
Yeah. Galatasaray, RB Leipzig. No.
No. Galatasaray
Atalanta.
would be fun.
Galatasaray.
Klopp's got a very good record against Galatasaray as well.
I know, but Turkey.
I know,
um,
but there's a
and
big history.
Lille. I'll take Lille as well.
Take Lille, yeah, especially now Pepe's gone.
Yeah.
Also, manager, big fan of Liverpool, so he might bend over for us.
Galtier.
Christophe Galtier, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, really speaking, mine and yours anyway. We can't speak on Shane's behalf, but mine and your ideal group would probably be Liverpool, Ajax, RB Salzburg, and Copenhagen.
Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Let us know your ideal groups.
Yeah, let us know your ideal groups. I'll probably post this photo up on the Twitter, and I'll try and replace Celtic and Porto.
Yeah, Celtic and Porto will not be in it.
Yeah, and
So-
I'll probably just like shift some teams around. I'll probably put Benfica in pot 2 and stuff, and yeah, I'll sort it. But I'll pop that up and just reply to us. Our Twitter is at LFC Stuff Podcast.
Yeah.
If you wanna have a gander, I would say the group of death for us would probably be Liverpool, Atleti, Inter, and maybe Lokomotiv. Maybe Lokomotiv. The one I'd hate most would probably be Shakhtar, Inter,
Yeah.
and Moscow. Because just all the travelling.
Yeah, I mean, Italy's at a push acceptable. The rest are not at all. No Eastern European ties, please.
I'm properly pissed off by the fact Chelsea got in pot 1, you know. That's shocking.
I know we've just said what our favourite groups would be. Yeah. So that group we've just said, which we think is not the easiest, but it's the most comfortable, is definitely going to be Man City's. Because they never get a bad draw.
They never do they? They never do. I think they're going to get Shakhtar for the 4th year in a row.
Yeah. I mean, I just want them to get Atletico so badly.
Could
Kieran
you imagine?
Trippier fucking laying one in on Raheem Sterling. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Morata leaping above Nicolas Otamendi.
It's not difficult. I reckon I could leap above Nicolas Otamendi.
That's what I mean. And Morata is fantastic.
I didn't realise they've only got 3 centre-backs.
I know. Like, the Stones being out for a while could be an issue. I said this to my dad, and he said they'll just put Fernandinho there, and I was like, well,
they will. But that's like putting Fabinho there. It doesn't really make yourself stronger, does it?
Yeah, I know, but nobody attacks them. Not in terms of nobody tries to attack them, but they just don't have enough of the ball to attack them, really.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't realise that until a few days ago. 3 centre backs. Imagine the fucking shit Klopp would get if he went into a season with 3 centre backs.
Oh well, could you imagine the shit FSG would get?
Yeah.
Jesus.
FSG
Yeah, FSG out because we've got 3 fucking senior centre backs, and one of them is now.
We don't have oil money.
Talking about City centre backs, by the way, have you seen Vincent Kompany's record?
I did. I tweeted it yesterday. Did you see that quote?
Yeah. He's going away on international duty, and he's a manager. Yeah. Like what?
And you got to remember, I wouldn't say most of Anderlecht's squad's going away on international duty.
No, he definitely won't.
So they're actually be going.
You got the bulk of that squad will be Belgium, and well, they won't get in Belgium's team. So
could you imagine he goes on international duty and he doesn't play? He's going to be. And he'll be sacked by December.
You would think as soon as stuff started going tits up, you'd retire from football completely. Never mind international football.
Well, yeah. If you'd won your first 4 games, you can kind of go, right, just do what we've been doing.
You can't have your cake and eat it.
They've had 2 0-0 draws. They lost the last game 4-2 against a team I've never heard of, and then they lost the first game of the season as well. So
they should have just played Lukaku.
2 points from 4 games. Well done.
When Lukaku went AWOL. Yeah, they're not going very well at all, Anderlecht. It's a shame we can't get them in our Champions League group. Alas, Genk will do. We can move on to just some alternate subjects pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because on Twitter, I haven't been able to call Thomas Tuchel a fraud yet this season.
You can now.
I am now going to call Thomas Tuchel a fraud because Paris Saint-Germain have already, succumbed to their first defeat of the season, 2-1 to Rennes.
It was just not logical, Dave. It was not logical.
And Eduardo Camavinga, the 16-year-old, absolutely ran the show and got an assist.
Oh,
my
God.
He absolutely ran the gaff. Meanwhile,
that is what I call content.
That is what I call content. Scouts of football were frothing at the mouth after that performance. But yeah, Camavinga put in a man of the match performance at just 16 years of age against.
Not bad for a farmer.
Not bad for a farmer. It was actually quite funny. I was listening to the Totally Football show, and Julien Laurent was talking about it. And he was saying he's Angolan. He was brought over to France when he was 1. But he can't play for the French youth teams because he hasn't got a French passport yet. And what he said after it immediately was, "Oh yeah, but that'll get done rather quickly now."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
That's all right. It's all right for some. But yeah, so Eduardo Camavinga absolutely ran the show. PSG lost, and Thomas Tuchel. Well, he probably.
But it wasn't even a case of like when City lose over here and they've absolutely hammered the team.
Yeah, they were just poor.
PSG were second best. And Rennes played like or Rennes, however you pronounce it, played like they were a Champions League side against a mid-table team. And it's great because I've never rated Thomas Tuchel. Well, I did at Mainz because he actually did a really good job there. So I thought when he went to Dortmund, oh yeah, this is a good guy. And ever since then, he has just made a fool out of himself. And it's been... Oh, you love to see it. You do. Because he is so weird. So weird. I mean, we've discussed this before. We think he's got autism, which doesn't make him weird. I'm not saying.
No, I the one with autism, have suggested he has autism. I've also suggested Pep Guardiola has autism.
Oh yeah, he's got. I'd say
Pep Guardiola definitely does. His mannerisms and the way he comes across in public is just so utterly bizarre.
Well, did you see that video of the bird on Twitter today?
No.
And the caption was, "If Pep Guardiola was a bird," and it's so funny. Honestly, find it.
You have to retweet.
I retweeted it. I have. I've retweeted it on mine, so just look through mine and find it. But it is like it's fun. I'll retweet it on the podcast account because it is funny. Everyone should watch it because it is Pep Guardiola in bird form.
Right. Anyway, moving on from Pep Guardiola.
That's my hashtag tweet of the day. There we go.
Well, you know, I say this every episode and we always forget, but I think we've got a title for the episode.
Yeah.
Pep Guardiola bird memes. I'll try and remember it. But
Pep Guardiola bird memes.
Lastly, write it down. Take your notes.
Yeah, I am right now. Pep Guardiola bird memes.
There we
go.
go.
Forgetting that one.
Right, sorted. Happy days. Anyway, last of all, predictions for Arsenal.
Oh. 2-2.
Oh.
Sorry.
Disgrace me.
Okay, I thought we'd lose to Southampton, so you know.
I think it is going to be 3-1.
See, I actually do think we're going to win. I said the draw thing to just kind of look a little, try and be divisive. Yeah, if we win, it'll be like 4-5-1 again.
Yeah, I mean,
could see them scoring first, like they did in December.
We didn't really run through this earlier, but I mean, if you look at the front three's records against Arsenal, you've got 8 goals in 8 games for Firmino, 3 assists in that time. You've got 4 games for Mo Salah, and that is 4 goals, 3 assists. You've got where are we? 10 games for Mane, 5 goals, 3 assists. I'm fairly certain Mane is the only one of the three to have been on the losing team against Arsenal. I think Firmino must have been out for whatever reason when we did lose, I think in 2015 against them.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. They battered us. Do you not remember?
What? When?
Arsenal beat us. But I don't think Mane
What?
was with us. I don't know.
No, Mane wasn't with us. Klopp wasn't with us.
Well, transfer market might have the numbers wrong, but yeah. So I think 3-1. Josh
I'm trying
thinks.
to think. No, because the season Klopp joined, we had that 0-0 at the Emirates, and then we drew 3-3 at Anfield because Joe Allen scored that last minute equaliser.
that was against that was under Rodgers, wasn't it? I don't know where transfer market are getting that
the
from.
0-0 was under Rodgers.
Transfer market are probably getting that from when he was at Southampton.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, we solved the case.
Also, what was your quirky little stat about the front three at home against Arsenal?
Oh well,
they scored in every game at Anfield against Arsenal,
and Firmino was scored first
individually
every game. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if Firmino scores first for us on Saturday, we are scoring a lot of goals.
We are. We're going to score a lot of goals anyway. Josh is just Josh. Right. Anyway.
Well, I've just said if you win it before 1.
Well, yeah. Anyway, the Reds. We'll probably be back next week.
Terrible, only 100% team in the country.
Of course, as we do. We are always unbearable forever. But yeah. Anyway,
should we do one? Should we do one after the Champions League draw? Yes, let's do that. Discuss it.
Well, yeah, we can. Yeah.
And then we can have happy birthday podcast as well.
Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, so we'll be back next week sometime. We're just not too sure, to be honest, because scheduling conflicts, a media mogul like myself and a conqueror like Josh, and
I'm available all week next week.
Shane's just
Friday
gallivanting on personal business, so we'll get together at some point. We'll let you guys know via our Twitter again at LFC Stuff Podcast. But for this week, that's it. All done. We've got no Shane to say slan, so I don't know.
You do it.
No.
Oh, I'm just saying. Nice.
That's just cultural
English.
Appropriation, Josh. And
nice English. Well, the Irish are basically ours anyway.
Oh shit! Right, go.
Joking.
Tatty bye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Why did you have to say that, Josh? Why did you have to say that?